good day to 150 million Filipinos. Good morning. And also to bona fide Latvians all over the world. Thank you so much to Sir Albert Gran for this very significant, very meaningful, and a life-changing article dedicated to our number one crime buster and Philippine tax informer of the state in connection to the global ill-gotten wealth of Marquesas. No other than Sir Danilo A, Lihaylihay, the man behind the poor. Alright, this article is entitled "The True Advocacy of a Future President is Found in a Man of Honor. Danilo A, Lihaylihay, the man who can pay the country's debts." Every Filipino citizen should come to realize why we should stand for the advocacy of a true economic hero and his plans for our country, which is primarily to serve the best for every Filipino homes, which none in this country can render. Danilo A, Lihaylihay is a man of integrity who fought for economic emancipation and freedom so that our nation and its pride shall be regained. Our country is the richest country around the globe, and yet the citizens had been so poor as though being deprived of the nation's wealth. That is very true. Whose freedom are suppressed by the rich elites called the oligarchs. Such oligarch suppression had made its citizens destitute of the economic opportunities whereby the citizen could enjoy the abundance of the country's wealth. The account record of Sir Danilo A, Lihaylihay is superb as such. He is behind in the sequestration of the Marcos ill-gotten wealth. He is the man behind the sequestration of the global Marcos ill-gotten wealth. He is one recognized as an informer of the state so that once and for all, the Filipino poor shall be granted to enjoy the divine wealth of our nation. You can find his record in the Supreme Court. Alright? That is GR number 192223. Danilo Lihaylihay versus the Treasurer of the Philippines, and meron pa doon, alright? Department of Finance, I think. And yeah, you can rely on that GR number 192223. That is a Supreme Court decision. That is the legal reward of Sir Danilo A, Lihaylihay. Okay, so Sir Danilo A, Lihaylihay is an aspirant candidate for president on May 2022. Election is the sole and bona fide candidate who has the sufficient ground in accordance by law akin to the precepts of the Omnibus Election Code to protest the candidacy of Bongbong Marcos or BBM, knowing also that he is an aspirant or aspiring presidential candidate for the forthcoming election who is qualified to run for electoral protest against Bongbong Marcos through the gravity of a legal basis. Yes. As per Supreme Court ruling in regard to the Marcoses' amicable settlement of the ill-gotten wealth, that is in year 1993, and it was ratified year 1994. Right, so that is the compromise agreement. There is a compromise agreement in between Marcos family, including BBM, and our state or government. Okay, So, Sir Danilo and Sir Lihaylihay has filed a case against Bongbong Marcos relative to the already ruled verdict in regard to Marcos' comeback to regain the highest position of the land, as such ruling prohibits. This is what I'm explaining right before, that there is compromise agreement in between the Marcos family, including BBM. Okay, so one of their compromise agreement in our government in year 1993, and it was ratified in 1994, that they can no longer enter in Malacanang because of this compromise agreement, the amicable settlement, which they had sworn by the Philippine government in relation to the sequestered ill-gotten wealth of Ferdinand Marcos Sr. So let us be enlightened by this compromise agreement. Okay? So that is the ruling of our state. We need to obey the rules or our law. Okay? With that ruling of the no political comeback of the Marcos family in the highest seat of our land. See, this is what I'm explaining to you guys since then. As henceforth so ruled by the Supreme Court, Bongbong Marcos, in his attempt to achieve the highest position. What is the highest position? That is the presidency. So he can no longer, enter in Malacanang because of this compromise agreement. Okay, so in his attempt to achieve the highest position of our land is only a matter of dream, and such could nullify and disqualify him in his presidential candidacy. The wisdom of our people would truly advocate Sir Danilo and Sir Lihaylihay platforms to pay the country's debts, which are rising to $1 trillion, whereby no precedents all throughout the previous Philippine government administrations had paid, right? So, for example, his reward in the Supreme Court that is already ballooned to 53.2 trillion pesos. That is only his partial reward. You can check that in Supreme Court decision GR number 192223. Okay. So that is also included in his platform of a government. Alright. So the people's wisdom must choose and declare by themselves to seek for a platform of zero debt, which only a private individual, a bona fide citizen who is also a poor, shall pay the country's debts through the government's assets, which only a single informer has the key to economic emancipation, who can solve and find ways. There is only one key to solve the country's debts, and the only one who had advocacy to pay the $1 trillion debts of our country. His name isn't so popular, for his notable legal works are silent in the array of popular politicians who lavish to increase suppression to our people in terms of economic upliftment and sufficient financial recovery. Danilo and Sir Lihaylihay, the country's pride, has advocated a legacy to love the poor. Through action for such, he will rescue our nation from economic devastation and prolong starvation. Long live President Danilo and Sir Lihaylihay for 2022 onwards. Long live the President of the Filipino poor. I am proud supporter of a Ledfi movement. Thank you so much for this very significant, as what I've said is a life-changing article. So every one of us must be enlightened of this article. This coming 2022 election, let us be more careful in choosing our president. When we learned, we already knew that this man or this politician has this kind of background, most especially in corruption, please, X tayo dyan. God bless Pilipinas. Sarap lang dito sa probinsya, pwede ka mag-aalaga ng